Well, hello everyone, I hope you're all well. As you can see, there's been a couple of changes while I've not been streaming or anything recently. I have a Kodiak. I also went through all my mechs that I had, because there was mechs that I've had since the beginning of, well, since I started playing the game about 2 and a bit years ago, that essentially I didn't use. So I've thinned out my stable of mechs, mainly in the sphere. Some of the clan mechs have been thinned. I'm looking at you, Novas. And some of the lighter mechs that I don't use. I've kept my kit foxes and my adders. I'll show you actually when I click the right thing. I have kept my primes. I've kept some of the non-prime variants. The kit foxes and the adders. I've kept my other two Jenners that are clan, though I don't really have any intention of using them anytime soon. Mistlinks I'm probably not going to use because I don't get on with it too well. I'm sure there's people out there that are great with it, but I'm not one of them. Arctic Cheetah surprised me actually. I did a game with that in the week and I put up some reasonably good numbers with it, so yeah, I think I kept the other two of those as well actually. Let me nope I didn't. So yeah, I just kept that one. But as it turns out, the new talent trees, when they come out, the new skill trees come out with the February patch, and it's going to be a case of you are no longer going to need to have 3 of a chassis to be able to master it. From what I can work out, and I will obviously talk more in detail is when I actually get a copy of the patch notes in front of me, etc. You're only going to need to have the one chassis to be able to take it all the way to master now, which is fantastic. And it's also the reason why I only have the one Kodiak. I have, on the other hand, now got 3 Shadow Cats and, surprise surprise, 3 Vipers. I'm going to do a video on the Shadow Cat and I'm going to do a video on the Viper. Yeah, they've surprised me. All 2 of the different chassis have surprised me, but I'll talk more about those when we actually get to going with them. I'm going to do a quick match as the Kodiak. I've messed around with varying different loadouts. I tried it with the LBX20s, it was alright, but I don't know, something wasn't clicking. Tried it with the UAC 20s and didn't seem to be putting out the damage I'd have liked, even though I was putting the rounds downfield into a target. So I was thinking, oh, wonky hit detection, or is it more a case of range? So I've swapped the 20s out for 10s. I've stuck 4 medium lasers on it, I believe. I've messed around with large laser builds, I've messed around with PPC builds, small laser builds, pretty much anything you could possibly think of really. This is a battle mech as opposed to an omni-mech, which means that you cannot swap out the omnipods like you can the omni-mechs. Clues in the name. So it builds more like you would build an inner sphere mech, which is pretty cool. It's got a lot of firepower. I don't think it can carry as much as a direwolf, but I do think it's slightly quicker. It's also as wide as a barn. It is tanky from what I've been doing with it. I've been sticking in some situations that realistically you really shouldn't be, with it being so big, but it's held up pretty well, all things considered. You can spread damage pretty well with it, like you would say, well, anything really. It's quite similar shape as opposed to the Atlas, you know, they being the humanoid upright, but it definitely feels wider, but definitely good at the old tankage. Like the high mounts it's got on the torsos, which is why I picked this particular variant. There are other variants that have a single ballistic high mounted, but I wanted to try it with dual high mounted. And the arms aren't too low either, so it's you don't have to expose the entirety of the mech to be able to get some shots off. Not as bad as other chassis I've used where the arms were a real issue. You think you've got a shot, you take a shot and you're firing into the scenery in front of you. Really quite frustrating. Which is quite nice to see that some of the newer clan mechs have got the higher mounts on them, which is quite nice. Going to, I think, at some point pick up one of each of the clan mechs that I don't currently have, and I might do a little review on some of them, I might not. It'll depend on whether or not I think it's going to be of use. I'm hearing good things about the Knight GR, and I'm hearing good things about the Marksman, so those two I will probably pick up. I like the look of the linebacker, so I'm probably going to have a go at that at some point as well. And I'm thinking about pre-ordering the Supernova, but again, it's another assault mech, and realistically, as you can see now, the queue's pretty big. Oh, there we go. If I were to say drop into the lights or the medium queue, it wouldn't be quite so bad. But unfortunately, I am about 2,000 XP off getting this one basicked. Hence, persevering with this before I do another game or two with the Viper and the Shadowcat. Well, at least we've got a decent map anyway. I like this map. Had some fun games in this map with the Shadowcat and the Viper. I wish I'd filmed one of them actually. It was really quite a fun game in the Viper. Basically leaping from scenery piece high up and taking pot shots with a PPC build. Did pretty good. I do actually quite like that chassis, but I'll talk about that more in the next video I do. Right, let's see what we've got here then. Is everybody going to load in? There's always one clan, isn't there? Everybody loaded in, so a nice short wait time. I've heard the horror stories about people taking excessive leg damage when being dropped on the dropship. It's not happened to me yet, I'm very happy to say. Right, where's everybody going? Let's go meet up with these guys. So yeah, as you can see, 2 UAC 10s because of the range and 4 medium lasers. It might feel a little bit undergunned, but I've also added a few heat sinks as well, so you might not be firing as hard, but you can fire more often, so it's a nice little trade-off. And obviously you cool a bit quicker as well, which is never a bad thing. Especially in the heat at the moment, when you just want to be firing constantly and you can't, because, you know, it's screaming in your ear that your heat levels are excessive, so I often play in this mode as well, as some of you will have noticed from other videos. I just find it a little easier. I had a really horrible case of, on a different map, trying to fire around a corner. I had a clear line of sight on the target, was firing at the target with the weapons on the right hand side of the mech, but it was clipping into the scenery, even though the scenery wasn't actually between me and my target, because as essentially was like this, was firing like that around a corner. Right, where are they all? Oh, we have another Kodiak. Right, do we just go for the base, or...? It's always quite tempting to go for the base. Am I going to get shot in the back if I go in front of him? Is he going to push in? Because I'll push in with him if he does. Here we go. Oh, I hit him. I didn't think that was going to happen. Oh dear. And he's going full reverse. I can't say I blame him. Is he going to give me his back? Is he? And there we go. As you can see, this thing is rather tanky. I have maxed its armour out, to be fair. I would recommend doing so because it is as wide as a house. So if you don't, you are going to get whooped by people, unfortunately. Oh, someone's blew himself up. That's never good. No, don't walk, just walk backwards. Let's go and see what this Evan Jaguar's up to. Have we got someone? Oh yeah, here we go. Try and get out of his way. Oh, here we go. See what I mean about the high mounts? There's been times when I tried that and I'd have just shot straight into the scenery. Oh. See, they've gone for the right torso because that's where most of the weapons are normally in this mech. There you go. Yeah, right torso is pretty much where you would find the ballistic weapon on this chassis. So if you're in combat with this chassis, that is generally the torso to go for, which is another reason why I picked the 3, because it has the dual high ballistic mounts, one on each shoulder. So in a situation like that, had I been playing a bit smarter and not obviously talking to you guys, you would have a better chance of not losing as much firepower, simply because you've got it spread, if you like ballistics. I like doing symmetrical builds, as you've probably noticed with a lot of my builds, and it just works well for me. Let's see what the survivors are doing. What we've got here is a marauder. I haven't actually seen this chassis in use yet, other than what we're seeing now. The little screen down at the bottom right there with the skull on it, lit up green, that's your kill counter. I didn't realise this until yesterday. Ooh, he's getting peppered. He needs to get himself into some cover of some kind. Oh, oh, he got the arm. Apparently machine guns have been buffed. Oh, ouch. Well, it's a loss. It's not doing my rating any good, but then again, me levelling up loads of different mechs, it doesn't tend to do my mech rating a lot of good either. I will have to, at some point, try and get into the next tier up. I should be able to do it once I stop dicking around levelling up different chassis, but that's on me. This is why I'm only tier 3. It's not the end of the world though. Like I say, I had a massive break from the game. It's quite funny actually, I've come back to the game, looked at the forums just to get a handle on what people think of some of the newer chassis, etc. And I looked at some of the patch notes for the upcoming January patch where they're changing various mechs as they've been doing. And people are still arguing about the engines, the clan engines, etc, etc. Yeah, they've got a valid point. They really have got a valid point. How obviously we can lose the side torso like I did and was able to continue fighting, and they obviously would have been just been out of the game. But they do have some quite nice quirks going for them as well, which, you know, I dare say if they were to be given what they want with the survivability of the engine, they would end up losing some of the quirks. So it's a bit, it's a tricky situation. It's a tricky situation. I got into this game through seeing, oh, big giant stompy robots, fantastic. Yeah, let's have a look at this. This was back with Mechwarrior 2, all those years ago. I'm not giving my age away much, honestly. And I liked what I saw with the game and how it played and the story, etc. And that's what got me into it. So then I went through Mechwarrior 3, loved that. Mechwarrior 4, loved that. I have pretty much always been a clan player, probably because I got into it at Mechwarrior 2, where it was Falcon versus Wolf. So I'm quite quite invested in the lore side of things up to a point. I'm not as bad as some people. So I like the fact that they've tried to keep them different and tried to keep them as they were, given so they've got their edge, as it were. But again, this is a shooter that they're trying to make money on. So obviously a lot of things have had to be rebalanced in the interest of not losing players. It's a tricky situation. I'm not quite sure. I mean, I think they're going to do a time leap at some point, fast forward in the timeline in the game, which means I think then Innisphere will actually get engines that act as the clan versions do, so they will be able to obviously fight on even if they lose a side torso, but of course everything will end up then getting rebalanced, which may cause more salt, but there's not much we can really do about that, really. I mean, we're going to get a whole host of new weaponry as well, like rotary cannons, I believe, and I think we're going to get medium range missiles as well, which will be pretty cool. I really do need to start experimenting more with short range missiles. I've heard they're really good. I've seen, watching through spectators mode, other people use them to really good effect. It's just for some reason when I use them, the hit detection seems to be a bit wonky, in as much I can get clean hits on targets. Yes, damage spreads, but that's part of it, but it's not registering the damage. It's registering the hit but not the damage. Now this is a problem I've had for, well, pretty much since I've been playing it, really. It's just one of the reasons I stopped using missiles. It can be a bit wonky with ballistics as well sometimes. It shouldn't be now because I've had my internet uprated. It's much better than it was. Oh, these queue times. This is because I'm using an assault mech. Just need to get one decent game in, and I think I'll have... Yeah, I need another... I think I need another... I need another couple of hundred, actually. I thought I didn't have as much XP as I've actually got, which is nice. It's always nice to discover you've got more than less. Now, I don't actually mind any of these maps. I've not actually tried an assault game yet. I might have to do that. But that might be more a type of thing I attempt with my actual clan at some point. I like some of the changes they've made to some of the maps as well. I came back not realising that they'd altered some, so I'm trying to play it like I would normally, and I think, oh, hang on, the scenery's changed. But for the better. I'm also going to try some of the actual role warfare type stuff at some point. I'm almost tempted to get rid of a couple of the Shadow Cats and a couple of the Vipers and just keep the primes of each, or the one with the best standard Omnipods, and maybe use the credits from that to get one of the chassis that I don't have. But especially with the upcoming changes. One thing that I don't like is the fact that they drop you facing the outside of the map. It's not so bad if you're in a fast light or a fast medium, but it can take these things bloody a week just to turn around. Right, let's see how we're looking. I do like the Marauder, it looks really quite cool. I think I probably will pick up the clan version at some point. As and when it becomes available for C-bills, if it's not already, I'll have to check that. It's a beautiful looking mech. One thing I do like about the Shadow Cat is the ECM, but I'll again go into more detail at the next video. It's almost like the old Mechwarrior 4 passive radar days. We've been wandering around and seen nothing for ages. Ah, Viper. Let's see why everybody's just stopped. He's brave. He's not that brave, he's running away. Can't take a shot because he's in my way. Going to resist the urge to run in and start combat early. You know, apparently the Warhammer's getting some tweaks that people don't seem to be liking. I think must be doing hardly any damage to that at this range, but you know, showing willing. Go and give this Warhammer some backup. I think I just got shot in the back by a teammate. Amazing. And again. Need to find that missile boat and shut it down. See if we can close some range. And the Viper's still running for cover. That's not good, because I'm too big and slow to get back there. Oh, one of our small guys is going back. Oops. Aim is not particularly good today, apparently. Right, not much is happening here, so I'm going to move in. Hopefully some of them will follow, which seems to be the case, which is good. Trick is not overcommitting, which is easier said than done. You see, they're going for the right torso every time. One of those moments where I don't take a shot for fear of wiping out a teammate, which never makes you popular. What have we got here? Yowzers. Hit me teammate, but luckily didn't kill him. That would have not made me popular. Missile boats. Missile boats. Missile boats are not something you want to encounter in a chassis on an open map like this, where there's not really any high cover, because there's no high cover. You can't outrun them in that particular chassis, and you definitely cannot, you know, get behind one of these high pieces of scenery, because they're just not high enough due to the angle in which the missiles are coming in at. Ideally, what I should have done is push into the inner sphere missile mechs, because their missiles don't actually do damage at short range, like this gentleman's doing now. All he's got is his lasers against him, and this guy's got 2 Gauss rifles. Oh, he's lost all his weapons. Nightmare. And down he goes. Good effort though, good effort. And now we're in a little ice ferry. I do not get on with this particular chassis. Reminds me of a fridge on legs. Well, the gentleman seems to be doing better with it than I was. Apparently that little Locust has become a really good mech in this version of the game. Those machine guns going. Just getting torn up. It's gonna be close. It's gonna be really close. Oh, we win. Hooray! Not that I can really take any credit for that, to be fair, but A win is a win. Not very good. Not very good. Still, it looks like I've got enough XP to be able to finish basic in this one out. Then I can change to something a little bit more, well, more my normal playing style. Though to be fair, I think I still need to get a win on the Executor at some point to master that. Let's have a look. Where is my Kodiak? There it is. Yep, there we go. One basic Kodiak. Mechlab. No, not Mechlab. Select Mech. Let's now check in the skills tab. My Executor. Yeah, my Executor B is just shy, so I think I'll be doing some games as that beastie at some point. But for now, I'm going to sign off, and I think I'm going to do something like the Shadowcat next. So thank you for watching and listening to me ramble my way through another video. It is appreciated. I will try and find out some more information about the various patches that are coming out. I know that the January one is essentially some bug fixes, some more nerfs for clan mechs, a nerf for the Warhammer, and some other little bits and pieces, but nothing I don't think that's particularly earth-shattering compared to the February patch, which will bring us the skill tree changes. Like I was saying, you won't need to have 3 of a chassis anymore to master it, which is fantastic news for people really. And yeah, thanks for watching. See you in the next one, guys. Thanks a lot.